Hey everyone, welcome to the Everyday Human Podcast. My name is Easton Taverna. Each day I'll share a reflection written by me and inspired by literature, poetry, music, movies, video games, and more. And after that, I'll share a prompt for you to write your own reflection. Together, we'll explore what it means to be human. Every month, we'll walk a new path, taking a look at life, death, the universe, and everything in between. Thanks for coming along. I'm glad you're here. For more, visit eastontaverna.com or join me on Instagram at _everydayhuman. Hello everyone, it's April 25th. How are things with you today? This reflection is titled, A Double-Edged Sword. It was inspired by a quote from the Tombs of Atuan, which was written by the legendary author Ursula K. Guin. The Tombs of Atuan is the second book in the Earth-Sea trilogy, which is a fantasy series, a mighty good one, if I do say so myself. And these books were written from 1968 to 1972. The first book is Wizard of Earth-Sea, then we have the Tombs of Atuan, and then it is The Farthest Shore. I first read these when I was a kid. I don't think I fully appreciated them, although I do remember liking them. I do think a lot of it probably went over my head. I currently own an old trilogy set from 1981, and they are spectacular. They are those small mass paperback size. The pages are old and yellowed, and they have that old book smell to them. I just love it. I recently jumped back into these, finishing A Wizard of Earth-Sea just a little while ago. I'm currently on Tombs of Atuan now, and they are really brilliant books. I love Le Guin's writing style, and while yes, they are fantasy books, they are not what you might expect. A Wizard of Earth-Sea is a very intimate and inward journey of the protagonist, Ged, a young wizard, and while there are strange and far-off lands, dragons, mysterious wizards, dark shadows, the main story really kind of revolves around a mistake that Ged made when he was quite young and inexperienced and a bit arrogant, and he spends most of the book running from his fear of righting his wrong, until the end, when he ultimately knows he can no longer run. He must turn around and literally face his fear. And he does, and it turns out to be this shadow figure that takes on the form of Ged, of himself. And it is in facing his fear, in facing what he himself has created, or if you want to really say, ultimately facing himself, that he comes out stronger and better and ultimately succeeds and can move on with his life. It is brilliant and beautiful. I'll probably be back to talk more about Tombs of Atuan as I finish it. If you're not familiar with Ursula K. Le Guin, she was an American author from California, born in 1929, and she died at the age of 88 in Oregon, which is where I believe she lived most of her life. She wrote essays and science fiction and fantasy, novels, short stories, and children's books. She explored philosophical and existential questions about society, gender, race, and nature and the environment. I love her work from everything that I've read, her essays, her fiction, and I highly recommend it. She's a brilliant writer and person. She has a quote that you may have heard that I really love and is wonderful for today's day and age. It goes like this: "We live in capitalism. Its power seems inescapable. So did the divine right of kings. Any human power can be resisted and changed by human beings." And I think you find a lot of that idea in her work. That is not the quote that inspired today's reflection, but do go read her books if you haven't. And here is the quote from the Tombs of Atuan that did inspire today's reflection. "The earth is beautiful and bright and kindly, but that is not all. The earth is also terrible and dark and cruel. The rabbit shrieks dying in the green meadows. The mountains clench their great hands full of hidden fire. There are sharks in the sea, and there is cruelty in men's eyes. And where men worship these things and abase themselves before them, there evil breeds. All right, and here is my reflection. Today, in so many places all over the earth, people woke up to the soothing song of birds. A gentle spring breeze through their window, playfully stirring the curtains. A hint of lilac in the air. Some slept in past their alarm, lulled into a deep and dream-filled sleep by the gentle sound of rain. But then, in the last few months, an M7.7 earthquake in Myanmar, another in the Philippines, M6.2, global flooding in the Democratic Republic of Congo, Nigeria, Algeria, Italy, Kentucky, and West Virginia, wildfires in North Carolina, tornadoes ripping through the South and Midwest of the United States, thousands dead and thousands more injured, homes and dreams destroyed in an instant. And just a brief note, this was written last year, so these events were of last year. Okay, back to the reflection. We speak often of nature's serenity and tranquility, its ability to heal and comfort, but its darker side, its duality, should be no surprise, for we humans have inherited both edges of this sword. The capacity for love and kindness, and for hostility and indifference. The ability to wage war, throwing lives away as fodder, and then care for the orphans and hope and pray they never will have to live through another like it. We learned from nature, we exist within nature. So some may say, then why should we be any different? The answer is simply because we can. The answer lies in our power to choose. We must never forget where we came from, but we must also never squander our gift of agency and turn a blind eye to where we can go. And there ends today's reflection. Nature sure can be brutal and indifferent. So can humans. But we do not have to be. We can choose to be otherwise. Now it's time for your reflection question. So, take out your journal, get ready to scribble your thoughts down in there or on a napkin, or just think about the following question while you are out walking or looking out the window. I took a nice walk today, and I need to start making a point to do that every day. It really is fantastic, and it's just nice to be outside and clear your head away from the screens and everything else that's constantly calling for your attention. Anyway, here you go. Ask yourself this. Am I squandering my gift of agency, or am I actively cultivating it and learning to make the world around me a better place? All right, that's it for April 25th. I'll be back tomorrow, April 26th, with another reflection. Have a good one, and take care.